All right. Welcome to another podcast. This, I believe, is the fifth iteration of or episode of Writer's Outpost. Welcome, MacArthur and Wally. Wally is now my new co-host, and MacArthur is our interviewee for today.
Hi
So,
guys.
Thanks for having me.
say a little bit about yourself, there, Wally Khan.
Well, hi, my name's Wolken. Everybody calls me Wally anyway. I've been gaming for about 18 years. I've been running a gaming community for about the same amount of time. Still have some people with me from the beginning. We have started with, oh my God, Combat Arms. Then we moved to Urban Terror, which is a Quake-based FPS. Stayed there for about 15 years. Then got into DC Universe, War Thunder, and then got addicted to Eve. And a lot of guys have come on with me.
Nice. All right, MacArthur. Let's talk about you for a few minutes. What games are you into at the moment?
So I play a lot of War Thunder. I'm involved in some different realistic campaigns that are going on, as well as I run my own casual squadron. I play Minecraft, and I host my own gaming community that runs, a bunch of different varied games, a lot of military simulation stuff, like Insurgency Sandstorm, Battlefield, Call of Duty Zombies, Modern Warfare. Um, Heavily into military simulation. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, also role playing games like Dungeons and Dragons, um, and stuff in that similar genre.
Nice. Now, there's another role-playing game that you didn't mention, War of Rights. You ever play that one?
So I personally have not had the pleasure of playing War of Rights, but I do have about 5 or 6 years playing the game mod that inspired War of Rights. Mountain Blade Warband had an expansion that was modded to the American Civil War,
Oh,
where I
nice.
got where I got my start as a commanding officer for line infantry and skirmisher units as well as artillery back, I don't know, 10 years ago.
Sweet. All right. Wally, do you got any questions at this moment?
Well, out of all of them, which would you say is your absolute favorite? And that could include something that hasn't been mentioned yet.
Oh man. If I could travel back in time to the heyday of Mountain Blade Warband American Civil War mod, that is where I would be. The hundreds of people on a battlefield using period correct tactics, weapons, organization, formations, and it being, while on one hand historically accurate, but on the other hand also something that you've never seen before because every battle is different. It was amazing.
That's awesome.
Have
That's
you ever
awesome.
tried Persistent Empires?
I've honestly, I've never heard of persistent empires, but I can gather that it might be similar to we had a mod for Mountain Blade called Persistent World,
Gotcha.
which was which was a big open world multiplayer. You could forge, you could farm, you could mine. You had to craft the armor and the weapons and all that.
So there's a new mod that's coming out called Persistent Bannerlord that you can do a lot of that stuff as well. It's in early alpha access testing and stuff like that. I could probably get you in on that if that's something you wanted to or test out. I believe it's on Mountain Blade Bannerlord 2.
Yeah, I've got Bannerlord 2 on my Xbox. I don't have a functioning PC at this point in time.
Oh, okay. All right. So you might not be able to do the mod then. All right.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that, guys. MacArthur is an Xbox gamer. I know.
Ah, it's
I
okay.
know. I'm sorry. I
We
know.
we interview gamers of all walks of life, so don't worry about that. So, all right. So, Wally, do you got any things you want to talk about real quick?
Well, I don't have any experience in those kind of games, really, but I played War Thunder quite a bit, and I'm not really great at it. I enjoy it, though, so I'd like to hear maybe a little about one of your biggest battles you've had in some of the realistic parts of the game.
War Thunder.
Yeah.
All right. Well, not so very long ago. Um, Me and my squadron. Well, originally it was just myself. I went in to check out this realistic community. There's a community called Boom and Zoom, and they use the War Thunder custom map creators and scenario makers to make realistic inspired events, like based after historical battles. And they'll select like a team commander. Say it's the last one was the Battle of Britain. So the vehicles, the planes, the tanks, the ships, everything that we were allowed to use was something that was present during the real Battle of Britain. And also the organization of squads, how many vehicles were in each squad, um, was also historically accurate based off of say what Britain or say Germany would have fielded during that battle. Um, and it was very tense. There was a lot of trial and error because I'd never done a realistic battle campaign like that before. Um, but second, third, fourth battle in, me and my guys, we all came in and we were running the Hampton, which is a early war English bomber, running raids across the English Channel, and it was a heck of a good time. But the amount of training that we had to do on our own independently, and organization and practice in order to get, all those bomber planes because they're slow. It's hard to keep everyone together if they're not already together. To get them up off the ground and together was just it was a lot of fun. It was really enjoyable.
That sounds awesome. I wish I could have been a part of something like that when I was playing.
So you talk about a lot of Melsim and history stuff. Are you like a history major, or did you study a lot of history in high school or something like that, and you just like history, or?
Oh yeah, I've always had a fascination with history, especially military history and political history, since I was very young. I did take college history classes and English classes in high school, but I've always been in the pursuit of knowledge. I was one of my favorite YouTubers is a guy called Drachenfell, and he does all videos on old ships, military ships, cruise liners, naval battles. Um, all of those fat electrician, all the anything that I can use to learn more about history, more about not only what happened but why it happened
I
is
do,
is
I do have a question.
Okay.
You seem to, when you talk about history, it seems to be military history that you seem, to be more interested in. So I got to ask, does your family have a history of military service?
extended. I've had family members in every war that the U.S. has fought since before the U.S. was the U.S. Um, I have an uncle in the Arizona. I have another uncle that went over down over Iwo Jima. He's a pilot. I have had my grandfather fought in Vietnam. I had multiple great grandparents, I believe, that fought in World War II in all branches of the military. So yeah, my family has a super extended military history, and I find nothing but appreciation for it. I think that there's plenty to learn from the sacrifices that our ancestors made for us.
Nice.
Nice.
All right. So D&D. Let's focus on that for a few minutes. Damn it, I said. All right. So D&D. What characters do you like to play in D&D, and what's your favorite campaign that you've served in?
Oh man, I've played a limited number of characters. I'm not the most experienced Dungeons and Dragons player on Earth, but I really enjoy it. I play a lot of fighters. I enjoy playing Artificer, because Artificer you can kind of play it like a fighter. I like being up close and in the action. Um, my favorite campaign that I've played in, my buddy ran a homebrew like post World War II campaign where this special unit of soldiers that was selected from each of the Allied nations, so America, Britain, um, German soldiers that were fighting for the Allies after the war were selected and brought to this special base where there was stuff going on in the mountains that was being caused by like a rogue SS unit, like Nazi scientists, kind of the idea. Um, and there was a lot of homebrew stuff in the campaign, but it worked well. It flowed very well. I played an Australian commando,
Oh,
um,
nice.
with a bolt action rifle and a kukri, and
See,
it was very
oh,
fun.
okay. So, whenever I played D&D, I always liked to play the rogue. My favorite character name is Logan the Liar. I hide the liar part usually through the entire campaign unless somebody starts figuring me out when I lie to them and stuff like that. And next thing I know, it's like uh, I like to play that part where I'm the mischievous kind of guy. You know what I'm saying? So.
I was gonna say, if you're like that in real life, I want to play poker with you.
Like that in real life, I don't want to play poker with him.
All
I'm
right.
My characters are very normally the uh, honest, upstanding, uh, kind of very transparent kind of people. I because it was just easy for me to play starting out, so I kind of fell into that groove.
Gotcha. All right. So, Wally, you got any questions you want to ask him so far?
No, no, I'm good. I don't have much experience in those games or those type of games, so I'll leave that to you guys.
All right. What other games do you want to talk about today on this podcast we're doing?
So, I would definitely like to touch on my time on Battlefield. I
Okay.
spent a number of years COing one unit. I was the commanding officer of one unit that I count important to to my progression. For a long time, I ran the First Infantry Division on Battlefield 5. This unit started out. I started out as a recruit in this unit. Before it became the First Infantry Division, it was the 11th Airborne, and I was recruited, and I did my basic training and my heavy machine gun certification for the 19th Browning. And then after I decided to help the command staff because it was a small unit at the time, and I ended up being invited to become part of the command staff. Then we switched over to become First Infantry Division, and the existing command staff did not. They weren't able to get things rolling the way that they had been. And I had experience, as we previously touched on, with running units on Warband, but going from Civil War to World War II that's a big jump, and I had no experience there. Um,
Well, the way I see that, it's all a recruiting game. It's all a way to understand the protocols and procedures that that place has, and it's recruitment is the same thing in any century. It's just getting out there, talking to people, getting them interested in the group, and making sure that people are having fun doing stuff with the group. You know what I'm saying? So,
you're
um,
right.
so I can see where you would struggle with that, but recruitment's all the same in any
Yeah,
aspect.
the difference being that with Civil War, you have one gun and five things you have to teach people. You have to teach them how to stand in the line. You have to teach them how to fire together. You have to teach them the different ways to fire together, and you have to teach them how to move. Four things.
Right.
With World War II technology, you have, say, for First Infantry Division, I think we had seven different weapons of all different types on our kit list. And not only that, the formations, the tactics, the maneuvers are much different, much more in depth, much more complicated.
Right.
Um, and while recruitment was a huge part of it, shoot, we at our peak we were about 180 members. We were fielding about 32, which is a full team for Battlefield.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
so recruitment's not bad. Recruitment's not hard. It's getting people to stay and do what they're supposed to and still have fun.
Yeah, that's
There's a lot.
always been the issue for most games as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We went from running. I had a 200-man crew that split to 200-man crews, and 5 years later, it was down to like 10 people each. So I hear
Yep,
you.
yep. But even so, over the course of 4 years running that unit, people came, people went, but it was and the reason I wanted to bring it up here was the people that I met that stuck around along the way, that really made my time commanding the First Infantry Division important. People like Charles, CCRUK. or Lean Scroat, Micah, all these people that I've gamed with, Bird Boy and Big Colt, and these people that I have just developed such close relationships with that still hang around me to this day. They're still part of my gaming community, and half of them are on the staff.
Nice.
Actually, Charles is going to be interviewed later on this week.
Yeah, I saw him in the server. Yeah.
Sweet. All right. So, any other games you want to touch on at this moment?
I can build a badass castle in Minecraft. I tell you what.
Do you want to send us some pictures of that and we'll put it in the stream so that way people can see it?
Sure. Yeah. When I get around my laptop, I will send you a bunch of gaming clips and pictures and stuff from what we've done over the years.
All right. Anything you want to ask us or say to the audience at the moment?
Well, sure. I got a question for you.
Sure.
Um, and this is for my own curiosity, but I'm sure your viewers might be interested as well. What is your motivation for doing these kind of interviews, this podcast? I'm very curious.
Well, I've always wanted to start a podcast to where I can have it interactive with the community.
Mm.
And I've always wanted to do interviews with people and stuff because it's just fun talking to people. I love talking to people. I've talked to probably over 10,000 people online now. Yeah, any give in my 14 years of being online or more. And it's probably more like 20, 25 years that I've been online. But uh, it's just a lot of fun talking to people. It's a way to build yourself up. It's a way to build other people up and kind of just have fun building something that nobody really does, you know? Like, I don't see many people interviewing people within the video game communities and stuff like that. They more or less just play the game. They don't really bring out content where you get to talk to the players in the video game. You know what I'm saying? So,
Fair
yeah.
enough. Yeah, it is definitely a unique concept, which is why I was excited to engage with you. I do have one piece of advice for anyone who has been, enjoyed listening to my ramblings and my answers to your questions. Um, People, whether you are in military simulation or are running a gaming community or a Minecraft server or DMing a Dungeons and Dragons campaign or leading your party or even organizing a group for anything, my biggest advice is as a leader, be be honest, be transparent, and don't do anything. Don't have your men do anything that you wouldn't do. People people will flock to you if
Right.
they see the kind of person that they would be happy and proud to follow.
You know, it's funny you say it like that because that's what I tell every single person when they join my crew.
All right. So we are at 20 now. So now is our news segment. Mac, do you got any news you'd like to share with the world? And since you are new, Wally can you can have a say in the news situation as well if you have anything from Eve Online. So
Oh, absolutely. And I also have a couple of questions.
let's let Mac hold those questions for a second. Let's let Mac share his news real quick. Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
The only news that I could think of at the moment um, is that the Boom and Zoom North Africa campaign is well underway for War Thunder. And I believe we are coming up on the third or fourth of five total battles of the U.S. and Britain against Germany and Italy. And it's been a good time. It is same as the Battle of Britain, like I described earlier. You know, historic troop organizations and vehicle types, and they've got a real good staff over there running it and making sure everything's fair and making sure everything is nice and squared away. So the Boom and Zoom realistic campaigns, while this is only the second one I've been a part of, they are really, really good and engaging. And if people are interested in the military, the light, casual military simulation scene on War Thunder, and flying and driving tanks and ships in realistic mode, It is a quality place to be.
And none of these titles that we've mentioned are advertisements in any way. We just like talking about the games and the community and stuff like that. None of these are paid advertisements. All right, well, you can.
Correct.
Uh, please go ahead with your questions and your news if you are so willing.
Oh, absolutely. No, my question before that, I'm sorry. It was related to news. Don't you also run a gaming community and a gaming community server, and you guys play multiple games? Do you have any news about that or that's going on in there that you might want to share?
For mine?
No, I was talking to MacArthur.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, MacArthur. Uh-huh.
At this moment, not particularly. Mainly, my guys are at the moment occupied participating in the Boom and Zoom event. We don't have a whole lot going on right now, but I'm working on getting that going. We have recruited a couple of new staff members, and as the summer opens up, so are people's availabilities. So we're trying to get some regular game nights going. I am working. I do have my own Dungeons and Dragons campaign in the works, as well as another game that is a little top secret. But maybe I'll share some details on that later on.
Okay.
Oh, right on. Right on. And what's the name of your gaming community?
That would be Freedom Gaming Community.
Awesome. Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Frank.
All right, so uh, we're gonna switch to plugins. Or oh wait, actually, Wooly, your news and Eve Online since we have a bit of time.
All right. Well, I run a couple of corps and an alliance. I'm not here to plug myself, but we got a lot of good stuff going on. My name is the same here and in game. You know, you can always hit me up. But other than that, it's business as usual. We're growing, expanding, and having a real good time doing it and making a lot of really good friends along the way.
Gotcha. All right, now this is coming to the segment where we let you guys plug in whatever you want. Wooly, since you're new with us, you can actually plug in your alliance or your corporation, but let's let Mac plug in his community first and whatever he wants to do, and we'll put in the Discord link at the in the description of our podcast. So just DM me that Discord link, and we'll put that in there for you. So
Sure. Yeah. So Freedom Gaming Community is a casual. It is a small server. It's a casual gaming community for gamers of all platforms to play really whatever games they want together. We do host our own stuff, our own game nights on Minecraft, Battlefield, Daisy, Insurgency Sandstorm, Arma, Hell Let Loose, whatever, Sea of Thieves, whatever game people are wanting to play that day is really what we do. Um, it has, it's a small project and it's been growing slowly for a long time that it's been in the works, but the whole idea is for a safe, equal, and friendly place for people to get together and play the games that they enjoy to play. All of my time in military simulation and strict following procedure has led to a complete 180 to the casual scene. So me and my guys are over there just hanging out, and anyone is welcome to join us.
all right, perfect. Anything else either of you guys want to say before we close out this podcast?
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity to share some of my knowledge and experience with you on the air.
Much appreciated. And you, Wally?
I've enjoyed this. This is my first time actually doing this. I don't think I'm going to plug my alliance or my corpse right now.
Okay.
I think I'm just going to leave it at we're good, we're growing. If you want more info on it, just look me up in game, or my name's the same on Discord as well.
All right.
And Mac, it was great having you. Frank, it was great for this opportunity to join you, and I look forward to us doing this bigger and better every time.
Hell yeah. Let's go. All right. Anyway, you guys ready to close out, or do you have any finishing words you want to say?
I think I've tired my jaw out with the gab. I don't think I have anything to add.
All right. Sounds good. Stopping recording now.